Hey guys, what's up? It's Battle9 back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at some Lionel trains since it's around Christmas time and I like to be festive and my Christmas tree can't go without a Christmas train, obviously. So here we have the Polar Express set from Lionel. This is a 2017 set that just released this year. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things with you guys if you have some people out there looking into possibly buying one of these or don't know what it's about or what comes in the set. So I figured I'd go over this with you a little bit and show you what you get, or at least some of the stuff you get. I don't have all of the stuff out. There's some things I will mention that I don't have currently here. So let's start with the Polar Express itself. So very well detailed. Nothing new for Lionel since they've been doing this stuff for about 100 plus years. And they're still here, so obviously they have to be good. So here we got the tender, obviously, in the shot, and here's the locomotive. Very well detailed, as you can see. Just the craftsmanship that they put into these is unreal. Probably not as good as their American-made counterparts back in the day, but I think this is pretty solid for the couple weeks that I've had it here. You have a nice cowling up front, the step rails, the bell here actually rotates here, so that's kind of nifty. Here we go. Yep, moves. Your smokestack, which does have a smoke unit in it, so it actually does produce smoke. Mine currently doesn't have any smoke in it, and I turned the smoke unit off. If you don't plan on using the smoke unit, please flip the switch off. I will show you where that is in a second to prevent further damage to your locomotive. If you do plan on using smoke, which they do give you a sample bottle of smoke fluid, you want to add 4 to 5 drops into the smokestack, which is according to what the manual says. And you'll run it for, I believe, what most recommendations, I can't even speak English apparently. They recommend about 15 minutes around the track, and you'll start to see the smoke disappear after about that point, depending on the speed of the locomotive. Once you see it disperse, just add a couple more drops of smoke fluid and it'll start smoking again immediately. You don't have to go crazy, don't have to dump the whole bottle down there. It just will cause more electrical damage than what you need. You have a tiny little whistle and a couple domes, and then you have the connection between the engine and the tender here. Obviously you have the 1225 for the Polar Express number. It's connected by a drawbar. Pretty much the engine has a 4-pin connector that goes into the tender. This is how they communicate together, so the tender here can tell the locomotive what sounds to produce. Obviously, the sound unit's actually in the tender itself. There's a speaker directly underneath it, which I'll show you guys just in a second here. So, to show you how to turn off and on the smoke unit and the sounds for the locomotive, you just first disconnect the drawbar by pulling up and sliding it forward, like so. Come on. Here we go. Then you will look inside the cab here, which I'll angle it towards the light so you guys can see. Right in there, if my phone doesn't block it. There you go. It says smoke on and off and chuff on and off. Smoke on and off is for the smoke unit, and chuff on and off is for the engine sounds while it's moving. Now, the remote has 3 other functions. Bell, whistle, and announcements. Those will still play even if the chuff sounds are in the off position. This is just if you guys want it to be a little more quieter in the room. And obviously here you can see the connector, 4-pin connector. Just place the locomotive on the track for the meantime. And on the tender itself, if you look underneath it, here's your speaker unit, which produces all the sounds. And obviously the rear coupler has a tab connector. To open the coupler, you pretty much pull down on, or actually you can pull it down on it, or there's this little tab that's right here next to the coupler. You push down and it opens up. All of the tender and all of the cars have these push tab connectors, so they spring open, and these allow the cars to be connected really easily. Just simply place the wheels on the track with the ridges of the wheels towards the inside of these outer rails, and then you just pretty much slide the 2 cars together pretty firmly, and it connects the couplers together. And then pretty much to attach the locomotive, you just lift the train up and place it inside the 4-pin connector, and it's ready to go. Now we'll take a look at some of the passenger cars here. Here's the toy car. And pretty much the difference is in the windows. They have different characters and such in them. So obviously the toy car is going to have the toys from the movie in it. The center car here has the characters, some of the characters from the movie, scattered in throughout the windows. And then the observation car has Billy way in the back here, just chilling by his lonesome himself, like in the movie where he couldn't make any friends till halfway through the movie. And obviously I'll move over here to show you guys the other side, which is pretty much the same. Very nicely labeled. The snow effect. The older cars, I believe, just had a black roof, so these have these snowy type roofs with the footprints on them from the ghost on the roof, which was kind of neat. Also, the set includes 4 figurines, the conductor and the fireman, and the engineer and the main character, which can be placed in these pins on the roof, scattered throughout the roofs of the cars and on the front of the locomotive here, and can be placed anywhere there where they have these pins, which is pretty neat. And obviously in the observation deck, you have the Polar Express logo and this little red silhouette here to let you know this is the back of the train. I would be advised this balcony is very, very weak because there is no clips. It just kind of places in there. That's the only thing I really disliked about this this setup, was how weak this balcony doesn't even really hold in here. It's just kind of placed in there. It's not really clipped in there. So just be very careful when you're moving these around to not to break that part, because I looked it up. That piece is $20 by itself for just the balcony. So, alright, enough about the train. What about the layout? Well, the layout you'll get here is obviously what you see. It's a 40 by 60 oval, and there's 3 different configurations you can make with this layout. You can make it how it's set up here. You can make it where there's only one straight on either side of the track. And the other way you can make it is in a kind of a circular square formation with one straight on each side. So pretty much you'd have one straight, then 2 curves, one straight, then 2 curves, one straight, then 2 curves, and then the final straight and the 2 curves. All which work equally as well, and the train seems to have no problem moving around. Over here I have the power supply disconnected because I wanted to show you guys pretty much how this works here. You get 2 sections of special track. The one here is the barrel jack adapter track, which you'll notice has got a circular pin in there. This is for the barrel jack. So pretty much you take the barrel jack and just plug it right into the track piece directly right here, like so. This will supply power to your track. You'll know if you have power if the red LED is lit. And the other special piece of track is on the opposite side that I put over here. This is your accessory track, which you notice there's a 3-pin connector in there. Lionel accessories that you buy them from them currently have that pin adapter where you can just plug it right in, and that will power the accessory off the power from the track itself. There's also another power supply. This here, this purplish one with the Lionel logo on it, this is the 54 watt power supply. This is what most starter sets come with. Lionel also included for this particular set a 74 watt power supply, and pretty much it has the same adapter here, so you will plug that in. Either one will work. This is for when you have more accessories, or maybe if you plan on expanding your set and adding another locomotive. I'd highly recommend plugging this one in instead. This one will allow you to have more power and less of a chance of your train stopping or stuttering, or your accessories stopping or stuttering. And then you have the remote control. Obviously this is like the holy grail. My first Lionel locomotive I've had with a remote control. Most of my stuff conventionally has been with a transformer. So pretty much you have this dial wheel here for forward and reverse. Obviously these all tilt, fully function. And you have your bell, announcements, and whistle function. Obviously it's labeled with the Polar Express logo and 1225 for the engine number. I believe all Lion Sheep sets will have their particular logo and their calling card number on the remote control to let you know that that's that particular train that it is controlling. To make the remote work, you have this back piece. You'll pop this screw out, install 3 AAA batteries in it, And if you have done that correctly, you just flip the remote to the on switch, which is located on the right-hand side of the remote. And this LED will be illuminated. Now, it'll start blinking at me because it's like, dummy, you didn't turn the train on, so I'm sitting here not getting a signal from the locomotive. So in order to do that, you just take your power supply here and you plug it in. So I turned the remote off really quick, and I'm going to plug this guy into this power strip here as I crawl underneath my printer. Plug it in like so. And this will constantly supply power to your track. As you see, the train is lit up. Now, since I turned the remote off, you can see that the LED is lit for the power being on. The train's whistling at me because this is the sound you'll hear if your remote is off and not connected. Once your remote is on, however, your train starts chuffing at you, which is a really good sign. Here's the light from the front. And here's what the passenger cars look like when they are lit up. So, it's pretty nifty. So let's listen to some of the sounds. Here's the whistle. And obviously, as you hold the button down, the longer it whistles. Here's the bell. You can hit it once and once again really quickly to do it one time. Or you can just hit it once and let it run. It'll run for about 30 seconds or so. And if you want to stop it, just touch it again, obviously. And here's some of the announcements.
Well, you coming?
Pretty much he says, well, you're coming if you're sitting for more than about 15 seconds. So let me inch the train forward really quick, obviously by turning the dial. And then here are the other two announcements while he's sitting still here.
All aboard! This is the Polar Express!
And the other three announcements are while the train is moving, so let's go ahead and fire her up real quick. Obviously, to move the train in the forward direction, simply turn the dial forward. The LED will start flashing to let you know that the train is in motion. And let's listen to the other announcements while he's moving around the track here by simply hitting the center button. The first gift of Christmas.
Tickets, please!
Tickets, please, and...
I am the king of the North Pole!
Now, obviously, as you turn the train to go faster, the LED will start blinking faster accordingly. And when you slow it down, it obviously will blink slower. And obviously when you set it to the dead center, it will stop the train. And to go in reverse, simply turn it toward the reverse side. The train runs equally well going forward and reverse. Had really no problems with it jumping off the track or anything as long as it's been set up correctly. And we'll go ahead and stop it. And when you're done, obviously just flip the remote to the off position. The train will still beep at you because obviously you're getting power to the track. So either you could do one of two things. Obviously when it beeps, there we go. Because the remote's disconnected. So either you can unplug it from your power brick from your outlet, or you can unplug it directly from the barrel track adapter here to the track. like so. So that's about it for this review of this Polar Express set. Now, what do I think about it? Well, to be honest, I had it for about 2 weeks. I really enjoyed it. I haven't bought a Lionel train for quite some time. It's been about 10 years since I bought a pack, for a starter set. So I was looking for something. Black Friday came around, and Amazon sent me a nifty email saying, hey, Lionel's got 30% off all their train stuff on Black Friday. So I went and looked at it, and actually the Polar Express set I got for about half off for what it was worth retail from Lionel's actual website. So I was very pleased. The train works very well. Have several different layouts I've set it up on with the sets I currently bought. Since I've saved so much money from buying it on Black Friday, having such a discount, I went ahead and bought the figure 8 expansion pack, and I had another 40x60 oval, as you see in front of you, from a different set that I bought about 10 years ago. So I was able to make some pretty nifty setups. I had a figure 8 going for a while, and I still have it. It's probably my favorite set I have so far with this locomotive. It's worked out great. Had really no problems with this locomotive at all. Either way, it runs forward, backwards, fine. No problems hooking up old or new stock to life, or new or old rolling stock. Doesn't matter if it's passenger or freight. Still works just fine. The sounds work great. The only thing I would say is the passenger cars are kind of light. They're not really heavy. Like if I compared those to the set I have over here behind me, those weigh about twice as much as what the Polar Express cars weigh. So clearly, I mean, I was like, but I guess it also makes sense because obviously the less weight it has to pull, the less strain it's going to put on it, and the more you can actually pull with it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I got some, like I said, some other layouts going. This was my previous set. I kind of took it apart to make this video. And over here I have my Christmas tree set up with some of my other Lionel trains on it, running around my little 4-foot tree and all the presents. This was the original setup. I had a loop on the top there with all these trestle pieces are at. And then I had the figure 8 running through the middle. But I figured I'd take it apart and show you guys what it was all about. And my overall rating with the Polar Express, I'm really happy with it. I really would recommend it to anybody that's just starting out and is buying a train set for their tree and really likes the Polar Express as a movie from Warner Brothers. I really love the movie. I always wanted to get my hands on one. Obviously, they're really expensive. But this is by far, you get what you paid for. The train is wonderful. It's big enough to where if you add more cars or you make your set bigger, you can move up. It'll handle it just fine. You have that other power brick here, which will allow you to add tons of accessories to it. And so lighting towers, crossing gates, figurines, action tracks, stuff like that, no problem. Should be able to handle most of your stuff that you're going to throw at it for a while until you're going to want to move up to a transformer like that guy over there or something a little bigger. But I think it's perfect. I think it's a wonderful set. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could please share the video around if somebody was really interested in the Polar Express. I believe it's 100% worth it. And I hope I'll have it for years to come. And if I have, kids or whatever, when I get to that stage, they'll hopefully enjoy it for as much as I will. So I really am really pleased with this set. And if you guys have any questions of how it works or something that you're unsure of, please just leave a comment. I'm pretty good about messaging people back on YouTube and answering their questions as quickly as I possibly can. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.